uh, filters you studied. See, it's an HTML program. This last I discussed about this. It's an HTML program. Homepage.html. Now, homepage.html. This HTML page, how many times accessed? I want to count the number of views. What we have to write? How to write? Ask it. Give me answer. Now, this page, how many times viewed? I want to count the number of views. Can you write here count equal to 0, count plus plus? No, we cannot write. Then how to count? With the Java. With the Java programming, how to count? It is possible with filters. You observe. What you can do in a web.xml. In a web.xml. What we can do is, whenever request comes to homepage.html, then divert the control to filter. Suppose counter filter. Now, whenever request comes to HTML, then divert the control to filter. Suppose you will send the request to HTML. You will send the request to HTML. But before HTML only, control diverted. Control diverted to filter. Like this you can write no. In a filter program you can write count plus plus no. Now suppose counter filter dot Java. Here int count equal to 0. Int count equal to 0. Here in a do filter method, inside the do filter, you can write count plus plus. You can write no. Now, whenever request comes to HTML, divert the control to filter. Then control diverted to filter. Filter executed. After executing, this count value you place in solid context attribute. Solid context dot set attribute. Now here count variable. Okay. This is also count. Otherwise, any other name also you can write. Now we are counting. Otherwise, views without confusion. Solid context dot set attribute. Set attribute. Views count. Now this value placed in context. Solid context. Then when this is executed, it will come here. It will store the value. Here, views and count. Views, count. Now, what I'll do, after this, what will happen? Again, back, control goes back. Control goes back to HTML. Then HTML executed. Here, one message I'll write. Click here. To see the number of effects. To see the number of views. I'll write. One hyperlink I'll write here. Click here to see the number of views. I'll click. When I click, one solid program I'll write. One solid program I'll write here. Here it will display. It is something welcome solid. Now otherwise counter solid. Now what variant you can write? Welcome solid.java. Now what you can do, this value we can retrieve with get attribute. Solid context dot get attribute. Then we use count value comes. Then display home page dot html executed count times. Then 5 times is there, 5, 10 is there, 10. Okay. Now you observe here. First of all, you will send the request to HTML. You will send the request to HTML. But already in XML, whenever request comes to homepage.html, divert the control to counter filter. Then control diverted. Here, counter filter executed. Count equal to 0, count plus plus. The value placed in context. Here, after that, it will come back. This is executed. Then click here to see the number of views. You'll click. Then solid executed. This solid will retrieve the count. Homepage.html executed count 2 times. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times like that. Like this possible. Now, you don't want to display this count. Now just remove this. Then what will happen? Request comes to here. This is only executed. Stop it. Like that. You can add. Anytime you can add the filter. This link is dynamic link. Okay. See, like this. Also you can do with filters. Understood what I said? Now, here. Request comes to which page first? Homepage.html. But in these all programs except XML, in these all programs, which one executed first? Counter filter or welcome solid or homepage.html? Counter filter. Counter filter first executed. But first request comes to homepage.html. That control diverted to counter filter. After counter filter, which one executed? Homepage.html. Whenever you click the homepage hyperlink, then solid executed. Got it? Write this diagram. First, which program executed, filter or HTML or solid? Filter executed first. But first control comes to HTML. First control comes to HTML. Control diverter. That is through XML. That is through XML. Declaratively inserted filter. So first of all, control comes to homepage.html, then control diverted to counter filter executed. After that, it will come back. Then when you click hyperlink, solid executed. This solid will return the count from context. Is it over? Is it completed? See. Online students, voice is not clear. Online students, just respond in chat box. Clear? Okay. Now, so one HTML program, one solid program, one filter program, 3 programs, and as well as XML. Say file, new, dynamic web project. Already filters is filters. Okay, one more. Filters. Okay, filter I'll write. Just filter. Next. Next. Generate XML. Finish. Now right click. New HTML. Now homepage.html. Next. Now just now I given diagram. Now see first HTML program. HTML. this HTML program. Just click here to see the number of views. That is only you have to write. I'll remove unnecessary tags. Here, PG color, yellow, text, okay, red. Now, level 1 heading. That's it. Okay. Here, click here to see the number of views. That's it. Okay. Now, in this diagram you observe, just I am going to display with homepage.html. Click here to see the number of views. But here is a hyperlink. Here is a hyperlink. Then what we have to write? Anchor tag. A open. A close. Then hyperlink reference. Hyperlink reference. What we have to write? Welcome solid URL pattern. Welcome solid URL pattern. Suppose welcome. Okay. Now, here, click here to see the number of views. But here only hyperlink created. See, if you execute up to here, right click, run on server, save. Homepage.html. See, now homepage.html, just click here to see the number of views. If I click welcome, okay, this is just HTML program. Write this HTML. So it is just HTML. Whenever you click the hyperlink, welcome solid URL pattern I written. Then welcome solid is going to be executed. See, in this program, nothing is there. Just one hyperlink only. Here is a hyperlink. When you click welcome solid URL pattern I written, then welcome solid is going to be executed. Is it over? See, this is HTML. Now, control comes to HTML. That control diverted to filter through XML. Through XML diverted. Then filter executed. This filter we have to write. Right click, new filter. Now package something filter, class name, suppose counter filter. Okay. Now extends HTTP filter. You can use generic filter also, same solid style only. Next, here, when filter should execute? When filter should execute? Whenever request comes to homepage.html. That's what that URL pattern. That is your right. Last class, what we written when filter executed in last class? When request comes to welcome solid. That is the reason welcome I written. Now when filter should execute now? When request comes to homepage.html. That's what homepage.html. Next. This filter not required already. Simply extends that filter comes. Here. See. Now init method we don't require. Destroy method we don't require. Only do filter. Okay. Do filter required. In this do filter, you observe. In this do filter, here, do filter method. Okay. Solid request came. This is HTTP solid request. Actually, these all default methods. It should not display. It is displaying. Now, in a filter, HTTP filter class, we import extended HTTP filter. You see, Java P Jakarta dot solid dot HTTP dot HTTP filter. In the HTTP filter, is there any abstract method you observe? It is do filter. It is do filter. Is there any abstract method? No. Here no method mandatory, but it is showing this method by default. Actually, here if it is not shown also, you type yourself. Okay. Some environments automatically recognizing, some environment automatically not recognizing. That is happening. Okay. If it is not displayed also, you type manually. Because these are non-abstract methods. Non-abstract method not compulsory to override, but you have to select. Now, if you select these two filter, HTTP services we cannot access. If you this two filter, we can access. Okay. Now, here, do filter, HTTP solid request, HTTP solid response. Here. Now, what we have tried, see, this counting. This count variable required. Count variable, instance variable required. See, 1, 2 members means you like a re-login. If voice is not clear, you re-log in. Only 2 members, 3 members means that is problem your side only. Online students, voice is not clear, re-log in or check it your side only network connection. Okay. See. Okay, 1, 2 members mean that is problem your side only. That is problem your side only. Now, count equal to 0. Is it instance variable record or class variable record or local variable record? Which variable? Instance variable. So we are right outside. Now, integer count equal to 0. Now, in a do filter, you can write count plus plus. But instance variable, how many ways to access? What are those? For when memory located for this? Whenever object is created. When object is created for this? Whenever first request comes to a filter. That is 2 ways to access. Is it accessible like this? But object not there, object reference not there, how it is work? This keyword implicitly present. Now, count plus plus. This count we have to store in session solid context. For solid context required. Solid context SC equal to which method? Get solid context. Get solid context method in which interface? Request. So request dot get solid context. After this, solid context dot set attribute. Attribute name, attribute value. Attribute name, suppose views. Okay. Attribute value count. String only passed. But this parameter is object class object. But I passed int. Is it valid? How it is valid? Auto boxing and upcasting. Auto boxing and upcasting. It is valid. Okay. Now the value placed in context. It's over. Filter is over. That's it. Remaining not required. Remaining is not required. Okay. Now after that, chain dot do filter. It is compulsory. With this only control comes back. If you don't write this one, control will not come back. That's what it automatically generated. You observe. That is filter chain method. Filter chain. Here. Here filter chain is there. Third parameter. It will check the XML file. If any other filter configured, other filter executed. So already one program over. Same concept. Little bit different. That's it. It will check the XML file. If any other filter configured, other filter. Not configured, back. Now control wherever it comes back, there only it goes back. So from it is control came from HTML to filter. Then it goes back only HTML only executed again. This is filter program. Write this program. It is counterfilter.java. 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 You can write with the generic filter also. You can write with filter interface also. You can write same style, solid type only. Now this destroy not required because anyhow that is the default methods, not compulsory to override. So here three parameters: HTTP solid request, HTTP solid response, filter chain. Over. Here just count increased, solid context created, context retrieved, context whenever application is deployed, then only context created. That context we are accessing with one attribute stored, views count. Now here actual parameter is object class. Out of box X. Is it over? This is completed. All right. So save. Now here homepage.html. I type it. Now my request passed to homepage.html. But is it homepage.html executed first or filter executed first? Filter executed. After executing filter, again control comes back to homepage.html. Then now filter executed, HTML executed. Both are executed. Now here what is happened? See, I send request to HTML. I send request to HTML. Then the control diverted to counter filter with helping of web.xml. Filter executed. This value stored in context. Again, control came back. Here, this is executed. This output displayed. Now, in this value, 1 will be there. That value, if you want to see, click here. Then this already executed. It will return the value. Now, see, if I click homepage.html executed one time. Now, suppose right click, run on server. Now, homepage.html. Click here to see the number of views 2 times. Okay. Now what I'll say, if I refresh my request password to HTML again, no. So again password. Now 17 times. Filter also executed. Whenever request comes to HTML, filter executed. Whenever request comes to HTML, filter executed. Whenever you click hyperlink, solid executed. See backside. Now here actually this code is not in HTML, not in solid. That counting where it is filter. Is it appears to you? Backside is there, you observe. Now I'm refreshing. My request password to HTML. If I click hyperlink, my request password to solid. But where is filter? Filter backside is working. Filter backside is working no. So here, if I refresh, every refresh request password to HTML. HTML before HTML only is filter executed. Filter executed. When I click here hyperlink, solid executed. From that context, retrieve data. Now, suppose what I will do, just observe here. XML file is there. Web.xml. This configuration I'll remove. Say filter. This configuration I'll remove. I remove. Now, you observe. Right click. Run as run on server. Save. Here. Now, home page.html. Is it filter executed? No. If I click, error, because conversion not possible. Null will be there. Null pointer exception. Now, count to value. Count is nothing but object format comes. Object is null. Null we cannot convert into int type. No. That conversion error came. Null pointer exception. Object is null. Filter not executed now. Now filter is not executed. If you want to add filter, what you have to do? Just configuration. Now added. But server restarted. Again, one onward starts. So anytime you can add the filter, anytime you can remove the filter. That concept. Homepage.html. See, now filter executed. If I refresh also, every refresh filter executed 19 times. See, every refresh filter is going to be executed 30 times. Now, you have to write solid program. Now, welcome solid.java. Welcome solid.java. Your object converted to integer, downcasting, explicit type conversion. But upcasting already present in previous program in filter. If you want to do downcasting, upcasting compulsory, no? Online students, write the notes, head of the session and clarify your doubts. Write the notes. See, solid listeners are different, filters are different. Solid listeners, whenever event generated, it is executed. But filter, we are configuring dynamically. But here we have to configure. Their configuration not required. That is event handling. Whenever event generated, automatically executed. That concept different, this concept different, not same. Here, HTML to Solid. HTML to Solid, where is the link? HTML to Solid. Here, hyperlink reference, href. But HTML to filter any link is there? No, that is in XML. That is XML. Okay. Filter to solid, any link is there? Filter to solid. No. Filter using context, solid using context. Context is common memory for all. Filter also using context. Solid also using context. Context is common to all solids, all filters, all listeners in the war file. That context memory used. Okay. Is it over? Now, in this program, when filter is executed, whenever request comes to homepage.html, that is I configured in XML. Okay. Up to here, filters completed. Next topic, JSP. Product. GDBC, solid listeners, filters completed. Okay, next JSP. Product. JSP stands for Java Server Pages. It is renamed as Jakarta Solid Server Pages. JSP stands for Java Server Pages. It is renamed as Jakarta Server Pages. JSP stands for Java Server Pages. It is renamed as Jakarta Server Pages. See, starting they given Java Server Pages. Recently they changed it to Jakarta Server Pages. You already studied Solids. For learning JSP, Solids is prerequisite. Solids is prerequisite. Listeners filters not required, but Solids is compulsory to understand JSP. What is Solids? Solids is a specification for developing web applications with Java programming language. JSP also same definition. Write it. JSP is a specification for developing web applications with Java programming language. JSP is a specification for developing web applications with the Java programming language. JSP is a specification for developing web applications with Java programming language. See, solid definition, JSP definition, it is same. There is no change. Solid definition, JSP definition, same is there. That means first solids came, later JSP came. It is convenient way as compared to solid. Here, 10 lines program, just we can write in one line with JSP. Okay. See, you have seen solid first program. First solid program, we written minimum 10 lines we written. You have seen basics. In a basics, SRC, main, Java, basics, like a first solid or second solid or time solid, anything you see, time solid.java. See, we written package. We imported some import statements. After that, time solid, extend generic solid. After that, service method is all we written. Now, welcome program also minimum 10 lines of code required in solids. But in JSP, just the 10 lines we can write in one line. It is easiest way. JSP, already we have solids. Why JSP came? I'll explain. See, JSP is a specification for developing web applications with Java programming language. Solids is a specification for developing web application with Java programming language. Solids and JSP both are same purpose. Both are same purpose. You observe. Java server pages. Version history. See, in JSP also versions are there. See, initial release 1999. 99 JSP came. Latest version 3.1. Okay, JSP also versions are there. Latest release 10 months back. Okay, 10 months back updated. See, Eclipse Foundation. See, that is recently renamed Jakarta Server Pages. Formerly, it is called as Java Server Pages. Okay. Here, this JSP introduced in 1999. See, you observe. So let's version history. Solid version history. It is Wikipedia website. See, Solid's when it was introduced first version. See, 1996. So 1995 Java came. 1996 Solids came. 1999 JSP came. So actually, web application, nothing but internet application. Internet introduced in 1990. 1990, internet came. 1990. 1990, internet came. 1990 to 95, there is no specific programming language to develop internet applications. But Java came as a first programming language. Okay. After 5 years, Java came. After 5 years. But 1995, 1990 to 95, they developed internet applications with C, C++, Perl, what are the languages already exist. With those languages, they developed. 1996, Solids came. 1996, Solids came. 1999, JSP came. You observe? Now, 1990 Internet, 1995 Java, 1996 Solids, 1999 JSP. It is a first specification for developing internet applications in Solids, in Java. So, up to 96, 1990 to 96, 6 years, they developed internet applications with CGI, Common Gateway Interface, already given introduction. While teaching Solids, I given no. Why is CGI outdated? CGI versus Solids. I taught while teaching Solids. What is it? Every request, one new process created. With that reason only CGI outdated. Okay. So CGI is the first specification. CGI is a specification for developing internet applications with C, C++, Perl, many languages. It is supported. And after 6 years, this is when internet came, then only came this is. But it is supported many languages. Many languages supported. But Solids, later 1996, Solids came. Solids introduced in 1996. When Solids came and exists in the market, CGI outdated. So 96 only Solids came. 96 only Solids become as popular. It is become as popular, and 1996 only CGI was outdated because every request new process created. If 1000 requests are there, then 1000 process created. But if it is Solid, one request, one process. Very first request only new process created. Second request onward, child process created. Threads, multiple threads, multi-threading. Thread nothing but child process, no? Like child process created. That will handle. But load balancing purpose, exact number of one will not be there. Load balancing purpose, more than one will be there. Suppose server capacity, hardware, software configuration, one main process can create 1000 child threads, suppose. Then every 1000, one new process created. If it is 10,000 capacity is there, every 10,000, one new process created. But exact one will not be there. More than one will be there. Okay. Load balancing purpose. Now, CGI outdated when Solids came. But within 3 years, one more specification released. Why? What purpose? I'll explain. Say 1996, Solids came. Solids become as popular. It was boomed in the industry. But within 3 years only, from Java people only, they introduced one more specification. Why? I'll explain. So before Solets, which was number one specification? CGI. Okay. Solets introduced in 1996. Then CGI outdated. Solets become as popular. It was boomed in the industry. This is from Sun Microsystem company developed. Sun Microsystem company developed Solets. It has become as popular. It was boomed in the industry. Released year only number one. Okay. Here, why CGI outdated? For every request, new process created. If 1000 requests means 1000 process, 10,000 requests means 10,000 process. But here just one process. Second request onward, child process created, child process can handle. Like that prepared. Almost same time, Microsoft company released ASP. Microsoft company released ASP. This ASP introduced by Microsoft company. Now, what it will do is, it is also same like a Solets. One, when you very first request, one new process. And remaining requests are handled by child process. Same like a Solets, it is prepared. Then competition started between Solets and ASP. Solets is a specification for developing web application with Java programming language. ASP is a specification for developing internet application, web application with the VB script language, Visual Basic Script. That is Microsoft language only. It is Microsoft specification only. Then competition started. It is also for very first request only new process. It is also for very first request only new process. In between competition started. But Solets having so many advantages. All Java advantages are Solid advantages. Platform independent, architecture independent, server independent, browser independent. All environments are independent. Okay. Now also secure. Java is more secure as compared to other technologies. Like that, main two advantages: platform independent, security. With these two reasons only Java booming in the market. Then here ASP also having advantages, but it is not platform independent, not much secure as compared to Java. But it is not platform independent. If you want to use ASP, compulsory Windows operating system only required. Microsoft products only required. So, but Java, any operating system, any server, any browser, any database, anything you can select. So there is a freedom to select any environment. But here there is no freedom. All Microsoft products only you have to select. Other environment doesn't support. Okay. But one advantage of Microsoft products are very easy. You take any product in the Microsoft company, first benefit easy. Suppose example, many operating systems are there. Many operating systems are there in the market. Which is the easiest operating system? Windows. See, you're learning on Windows only. Later, after joining the company, they may use other operating system also. But learning purpose, which operating system you are using? Windows. Why Windows? You can use Linux, no? Now Windows is very easy. Suppose if I teach Java on Linux, then you will not get a Java, you will not get a Linux. At last, you will not get a Java. If I teach Java on Windows, your concentration only on Java. Windows already you know, everyone knows. Okay. And if I teach Java on Linux difficult to understand. So then what will happen? You cannot concentrate on Java also, you cannot concentrate on Linux also. At last you will not get a Java, you will not get a Linux. That type of problem will occur. That is the reason everyone teaching on Windows only. Okay. And even operators, you observe. Bank also, insurance company also, supermarket also, everywhere. Which operating system appears? Windows. It is easiest operating system. Okay. It is very easy to operate. See, kids also operating Windows, no? That much easiest. So, Microsoft, any product you take, first benefit easy. You are using MS Office, Microsoft only. Windows, Microsoft only. Like that, ASP, very easy as compared to Solids. And also less number of lines code will be there. Here 10 lines equivalent to 1 line only. And also for learning ASP, no prerequisite. Directly you can join in ASP class. But Solids, is it possible? No, first Core Java required. For Core Java, C language required. So first you have to learn C, next you have to learn Core Java, next you have to learn Solids. But here, when C is finished, here ASP is finished. When here, if the person started C, Core Java, Solids means here the person will complete ASP also. Before completing C, only ASP completed. Like that. So rapid application development possible, rapid learning possible. Very quickly you can learn, very quickly you can develop application. Like that. Like only one advantage, main advantage, easy. That is the reason Sun Microsystem also released one more specification, JSP. So the drawback of Solids achieved with JSP. That's the reason JSP came. Here 10 lines code, just 1 line. Okay, 10 lines code, just will write 1 line. After that, many frameworks came. Struts came, JSF came, Wicked came, Spring MVC came, Spring Boot MVC came. Like this, so many frameworks came. So many. These all, even that line also no need to write. Okay. Here already ready-made programs will be there. Ready-made programs. You have to open that program according to your requirement. You can customize, you can develop application. So everything ready-made. Say, for example, we did dynamic web project. Okay, that type of project ready-made will be there. That is directly you deploy, output welcome comes. If you want to change, open that program, you change the content. That type will be there. So programs ready-made, programs already prepared. That is only frameworks. So as compared to Solids, JSP very simple. As compared to JSP, frameworks are very simple. But MVC frameworks only. Okay. So first Solids came. Next JSP came. Later MVC frameworks came. Spring means in Spring MVC only this next continuation. But other Spring core is there, Spring dependency injection, so many are there modules. Those all Spring is entire Java framework, but Struts is there. It is equivalent to Spring MVC. JSF is there. It is equivalent to Spring MVC. Wicked is there, equivalent to Spring MVC. So only MVC framework for web application. Okay. In the market, many MVC frameworks are there. Some companies, they prepared their own framework. After joining in the company, they may or may not give Spring MVC. They'll give their own MVC also. That is also you have to learn after joining if required. Compulsory. Okay. So Solids, JSP, MVC frameworks like that introduced. Now, what is the benefit with JSP? Easy to simplify web application development. But when Solids came 1996, then Solid understandable servers prepared. Because Solid where it runs? Server. Server only runs. Solid understandable servers prepared. Tomcat, iPlanet, Pramathi, WebLogic, WebSphere, JBus, so many servers came. But within 3 years, JSP came. Again, they have to develop servers, no? Rules and guidelines, it is only interface, abstract methods. Abstract method writing very simple, but abstract method implementation, it takes time. That is Solid server implementation. Within 3 years, new specification means within 3 years, they have to develop new server. Instead of that, one software developed. That is called JSP engine. So JSP engine, What it will do is, it will take JSP and it converts into a solid. So new software not developed, only this software developed. Now you are writing one line. Again, your one line converted to 10 lines backside. Okay. So you are writing JSP, that JSP converted into solid by JSP engine. So first you write JSP engine is a piece of software. JSP engine is a piece of software and it converts JSP into a solid. JSP engine is a piece of software and it converts JSP into a solid. It is a part of web server and application server. You write like this example. JSP engine is a piece of software and it converts JSP into a solid. It is a part of web server and application server. So programmer point of view, burden reduced, but server burden increased. Now you are writing JSP, convert into solid. So instead of developing new servers, one software developed that is attached to server. It is very simple, just like a HTML type will be there. HTML type. Tags and attributes will be there. Simple. But solid knowledge prerequisite. Not only solid, core Java also prerequisite. Core Java also required. Okay. With core Java solid knowledge, very quickly you can learn JSP. This will see continuation tomorrow. We'll see continuation tomorrow.